Baby, I'ma want you. Baby, I'ma need you. You're the only one I care enough to hurt about. Maybe I'm a crazy, but I just can't live without your loving and affection, giving me direction, like a guiding light to help me through my darkest hour. Lately I'm a praying that you'll always be a staying beside me. Used to be my life was just emotions passing by, feeling all the while never really knowing why. Lately I'm a praying that you'll always be a staying beside me. Used to be my life was just emotions passing by. Then you came along and made me laugh and made me cry. You taught me why. Baby, I'ma want you. Baby, I'ma need you. Took so long to find you, baby, baby, I'ma want you. just go ahead now. And if you want to call me baby, just go ahead now. And if you like to tell me maybe, just go ahead now. And if you like to buy me flowers, just go ahead now. And if you like to talk for hours, just go ahead now. If you want to call me baby, just go ahead now. And if you like to tell me maybe, just go ahead now. If you want to right track. No time to lose, no looking back. It's time. Oh, I said it's time. 2, 3, 4. Lord, Lord, what you gonna do if that passes you by? You get left alone, you wonder why. Well, the time is now, no hesitating. You got the green light. Who are you in this time? I said it's time. Talk to me, boys. I like it, I like it. Hey, hey, hey. Lord, Lord, what you gonna do if that passes you by? You get left alone, you wonder why. I said the clock is ticking, there's no time for talking. If you can't hitch a ride, you better start walking, it's time. He knows it's time, it's time, man. I said it's time. I mean it's time. Whip it.
Yeah, it's time for the Michael J. Steele for Senate show, and here I am again in the studio. Thank you all for coming back to hear the program. This is our 271st 2-hour episode, coming at you live from downtown Fargo, North Dakota. See here, we got to thank our sponsors tonight. Bernadette Hoeven from Bismarck, North Dakota, donated $500 to the program here about 2 weeks ago, Monday. Thank you, Bernadette. That goes a long way to support the campaign and this program. Also, Cynthia Warnham-Tilson donated $500 from Ohio. Thank you, Cynthia. And then Joey from Romantics Adult Toys sent us $50. Then we've been getting, $5, $2, $3 trickling in. And if you'd like to be a donor to the campaign, help sponsor it, Michael J. Steele. I'm running for United States Senate. I've been in this race over 4 years now. There's 5 of us now. And within the last 2 weeks, a lady named Katrina Christensen from Nebraska got in this North Dakota United States Senate race. She's assistant adjunct professor from Nebraska. Just started teaching here in North Dakota. She's in Jamestown as a professor there. And then Rick-Becker, who's been a legislator in North Dakota since 2013. He's a plastic surgeon up in Bismarck. He's got a bunch of plastic surgeon clinics. Then he's got some radio shows and radio stations he owns. And then we got this Andrew Alexis Velvel, and he's actually got he's the newest candidate. He got into the race here about 5 days ago. Don't know much about him. It says he's a historian. I did some research. He writes historical letters and stuff to the colleges and stuff like that. So he's a historian. And me, I was a student, laborer, student, worked behind the scenes since '92 in politics, getting people elected, knocking on doors. I worked for some coordinated campaigns, knocked on a lot of doors, was a staffer for Earl Pomeroy, U.S. Congressman here in North Dakota. Helped get Byron Dorgan, United States Senator, reelected. Heidi Heitkamp helped her get elected. Many, many, many candidates I worked for since 1992, and I'm 52 now. I thought, hey, it's my turn. I got all these other people elected. My friend said, why don't you run? You probably know just as much about what's going on, and most of these people you helped get elected, so you should probably get in there. And after being a 2-time cancer survivor, I said, yeah, I might as well get in there. You never know when this cancer is going to pop its ugly head up again. I'm healthy now and been healthy, so I figure I better get in the race for I'll regret it and say, geez, I never got in the race, so I figure I better do it now. And I'm doing it. Things are going good. I've been healthy. This last 4 years went by pretty fast. I'm feeling good. I think I can do a 6-year stint in the Senate. I'm pretty positive about that. I think I'll get a lot done. I put in 16 hours a day. I started a art, antique, and vintage collectible business in Fargo here 5 years ago. I got over the 5-year hump. I started with $200. My mother was an antique dealer, American picker for 55 years. She passed away in 2018. I said, well, Mom, taught me a lot. And my dad, when he was alive, he taught me. He died in 2009. Mom died in 2018. They knew a lot about old stuff. And my dad grew up during the Depression, and he was a Korean vet in World War II. And Mom knew a lot about old stuff. And she sold antiques. I figured maybe I'll give it a shot. And I started with $200 part-time. 5 years ago. I turned it into a full-time business. Now I have 3 online stores, and I have a store in downtown Fargo. And I've been doing it full-time, and then I've been running for Senate for 4 years now. So took $200 and did it. And things are going great. So that's the kind of leadership you'll have. I can take $200 and turn it into a small business, and that's what I'm all about too. I'm just sent a thing to our legislatures here 2 weeks ago Thursday about a small business committee in North Dakota that'll offer health insurance to all employers that have small businesses. Also to get our organic farming, get that out there to schools where our school kids can have healthy food. If you eat organic food, you have a 25% less chance of getting cancer. So I've got a proposal to get that organic food in our schools and maybe in our fast food restaurants too, because I know a lot of the high schools in that right now, they have McDonald's and Burger King and pizza joints and stuff in the high schools. Why don't we get organic food in our high schools and throughout our schools, and we can get our students involved in small businesses, maybe in organic farming. And there was a deal in the 70s. There was a trend where a lot of our students were actually working for small businesses or working in high school with the potential to start a small business to get in the market to build up the middle class. And it was keeping them off fentanyl, and it was keeping them off heroin, and it was keeping them off meth and drugs to get them involved in businesses and starting small businesses, which small businesses build the middle class, keep them safe, and keep them into the business mentality where we can get our kids into organic farming and the software engineering and that, and get them invested into this at a younger age, to where when they get out of school, they're not dying from drug overdoses and stuff. So are turning into alcoholics like a lot of my friends did after high school. They're sitting in the bars now. They're in their 50s, and they've overdosed on drugs. Some of them died. Some of them are alcoholics real bad. And maybe we can help prevent this stuff in the long run by giving them a future And by we're giving them a future, we're also building up our middle class. I mean, there's all kinds of things we can do. It's in offering health care. I was talking about the Switzerland program. We can bring that into North Dakota, where we inundate the state with small business health care. We just have health care companies in here. And when there's competition, the price of health care comes down, or we can get Medicare to pay for it. That's another option, too, where we encourage Medicare to give small businesses from 2 to 500 employees. That's actually considered a small business in the United States now. Health care through our Medicare program, and tell the government, hey, these are small businesses that are helping hold up the middle class. Your middle class are your small businesses. They pay all the taxes. A lot of your poorer people are more dependent on your government. Your rich people are getting all the perks and all the loopholes, and they're getting stuff. They're getting corporate welfare and subsidies from the government. And, that they don't see, people say that the poor people are getting handouts. Well, the rich and the corporations are getting handouts, but they changed the name and they call it subsidies for the corporations. They get millions and billions of dollars in subsidies, which is way more than what poor people get. That all these rich bastards call it handouts. Well, the rich people get subsidies. So why not help the poor people? What would Jesus do? And you judge a nation right now by how it helps its most vulnerable. I see we lost somebody here that was listening in, but obviously must have been a rich bastard or someone that worked for the corporations, So anyway, they can leave. I don't care. Okay, right now, well, let's go to our up-to-the-minute weather forecast, which we offer as a service on the Michael J. Steele for Senate show. And today, right now, it is 9:37 here in Fargo, North Dakota, Saturday, March 12th. 2022. We got a heat wave going on here. It's 28 degrees. We got a southwest wind 10 miles per hour. With the wind chill, it feels like 19 degrees out. Humidity 70%. Visibility is mostly clear. It's 9 miles visibility on the highway. Barometric pressure is 29.67 inches and rising. And our dew point is 20 degrees. Right now, we'll go and we'll do our news. We'll start with our condensed version of our news. We'll get that done, then we can open up the phone lines here on the Michael J. Steele for Senate show. The Brits are going to give their government is going to give £350 a month to open homes to UK refugees. Right now, Britain will pay people to open their homes to Ukrainians fleeing the Russian invasion as the government moves to deflect anger over its response to the fastest growing refugee crisis in Europe since World War II. The new scheme called Homes for Ukraine will let refugees from the war come to Britain even if they do not have family ties, the government said on Sunday. Britain will pay £350, that's $456 a month if they can offer refugees a spare room or property for a minimum period of 6 months. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has sought to portray Britain as helping lead the global response to the Russian invasion, which Moscow calls a special operation. But his government has faced criticism over delays in accepting refugees in the past. Lawmakers from all the main political parties have attacked the government's insistence that Ukrainians seek visas and biometric tests before arriving in Britain, saying this prioritized bureaucracy over the welfare of those fleeing war. Under the new scheme, members of the public, charities, businesses, and community groups should be able to offer accommodations via a web page by the end of next week, the government said. The UK stands behind Ukraine in their darkest hour, and the British public understand the need to get as many people to safety as quickly as we can. Michael Gove, the Minister for Housing, said in a statement, I urge people across the country to join the national effort and offer support to our Ukrainian friends Together, we can give a safe home to those who so desperately need it. Anyone offering a room or home will have to show that accommodation meets standards, and they may have to undergo criminal record checks. The number of refugees fleeing Ukraine could rise to more than 4 million, double the current estimate of 2 million, the UN's refugee agency said last week. So $1 United States dollar equals 0.7671 pounds right now. I would let somebody stay with me from Ukraine. I would offer them my bedroom. I sleep in my recliner usually. That's just what I do. I watch TV, the news, and I sleep in my recliner, so they could have my bed if they want. I will give someone from Ukraine, I will offer them my bedroom right now, my bed and my bedroom. I'll do that right now to offer some poor refugee a place to stay for 6 months, no problem. France to offer fuel rebate to cushion soaring prices, according to the Prime Minister. Paris, France is to introduce a rebate of 16.16 per liter of transport fuel to help drivers cope with soaring pump prices. Prime Minister Jean Castex said in an interview with daily newspaper Le Parisien, the measure to apply 4 months from April 1st is expected to cost the government just over 2 billion euros, he said. $1 equals 0.9167 euros. So they're going to help out people there with gas price problems in France. Right now, people are wondering why are our U.S. gas prices soaring when America barely uses any Russian oil. So why is Russian oil affecting the U.S.? Most Russian oil goes to Europe and Asia, but the key here is to think about the oil supply globally rather than U.S. specifically. The commodities world is a heavily interconnected one, and oil is priced through a global market. So what happens in one area of the world can affect another. The problem at hand is that Russia is one of the biggest oil suppliers. In December, for example, Russia spent nearly 8 billion barrels of oil, 8 million barrels of oil and other petroleum products to global markets, including 5 million barrels of the crude oil that's used to make gasoline, among other items. And yes, it's true that very little of the Russian supply goes to the United States, just 90,000 barrels of crude oil per day in December. According to the most recent U.S. government statistics, in 2021, by contrast, Europe got 60% of Russia's oil exports and China got the other 20%. But remember that oil is bought and shipped around the world through a global commodities market. So in that sense, it doesn't really matter who specifically is getting crunched by the loss of Russian oil, because lower supply affects those global prices no matter what. And as we know from Econ 101, when there's less supply of an item and demand, prices rise. For example, if Europe buys less Russian oil, it will have to replace it with oil from somewhere else, perhaps from the powerful Saudi Arabia-led organization of the petroleum exporting countries. That increase in demand from OPEC oil will send its crude prices even higher. And guess who else pays hundreds of millions of barrels of OPEC oil? You guessed it, the United States. Why is there less Russian supply anyway? At first, the West, including the U.S., exempted Russian oil and natural gas from the sanctions they levied. The Biden administration reversed course on that on Tuesday, banning Russian oil and other fuel imports to the U.S., while the U.K. said it will phase out Russian oil imports by the end of the year. The EU is in a tougher spot on this because they are far more dependent on Russian oil. But the initial lack of formal bans didn't really matter in terms of prices anyway. There's been a de facto ban on Russian oil since the invasion began, with most of the country's supplies sitting unsold. That's because oil traders are incredibly nervous to touch the stuff. There's tons of uncertainty about buying Russian oil right now, whether it's about the ability to close deals given the sanctions on Russia's banking system, or finding tankers willing to even go to Russian ports amid shipping dangers in the war zone. As a result, the main type of oil that Russia exports into Europe is being offered for sale at a major discount because nobody wants it right now. J.P. Morgan recently estimated more than 4 million barrels per day of Russian oil has been effectively sidelined. So investors are essentially pricing oil as if Russia's supply isn't available at all. And again, less supply means higher prices, even though there is a big supply of Russian oil set and sidelined. Why can't other countries pump out more? People are wondering. Good old COVID strikes again. Nobody wanted oil in generally in the spring of 2020 when global stay-at-home orders meant nobody needed to gas up and get to the office. With demand cratering, oil prices did too, even briefly trading at negative prices. In turn, OPEC heavily cut production to support prices. They've cut production targets low since then, only gradually adding back production, even when demand for oil and gasoline bounced back sooner than expected. Guess who's part of OPEC? Russia. So yeah, OPEC isn't rushing to the rescue. The Saudis have made crystal clear for months, even before the invasion, that the group doesn't plan to open up the oil taps anytime soon. That iron resolve may or may not be cracking. However, in one confusing development this week, the United Arab Emirates ambassador to Washington told news sources that the country wants to increase oil production and will encourage its partners in OPEC to do so, but later the UAE's Minister of Energy and Infrastructure tweeted the nation will stick to its OPEC agreement and gradually raise production. And then the Iraqi oil minister said its leaders met and agreed to OPEC's partners should balance supply and demand to stabilize the market. At this point, who knows? Why can't U.S. oil companies ramp up production then? Well, Russia was the number 2 oil producer in the world in 2021, pumping out 9.7 million barrels a day. But the U.S. is number 1 with 10.2 million. American companies don't abide by those OPEC-style nationally mandated production targets, but U.S. oil producers can't or won't fill the supply gap, even though they could make a mint given the high prices and demand. Again, here COVID strikes. Like many industries during the pandemic, oil producers are struggling to find staffers and source specialized equipment. Meanwhile, U.S. oil companies are still smarting from the pain of the major oil bust in 2020, which kicked off a flurry of bankruptcies. Major oil companies' stock performances have lagged the broader market since then too, and as makers of fossil fuels, they worry that future environmental policies could hurt future demand for oil. All of the above underscores how oil and gas prices are tied to geopolitical events, the pandemic, drilling logistics, and so much more, and it adds up to average U.S. gas prices above $4.33 a gallon as of today. In short, it's all simple case of supply and demand, but of course it's never really that simple. So that's kind of what's going on with our oil right now. Saudi Arabia, speaking of Saudi Arabia, they've executed 81 men in one day, their biggest mass execution in decades. Saudi Arabia executed 81 men today, including 7 Yemenis and 1 Syrian for terrorism and other offenses, including holding deviant beliefs, authorities said. And one of their biggest mass executions in decades, the number dwarfed the 67 executions reported in the kingdom in all of 2021. And in the 27 in 2020, these individuals, totaling 81, were convicted of various crimes, including murdering innocent men, women, and children. The Interior Ministry said in a statement, crimes committed by these individuals also included pledging allegiance to foreign terrorist organizations such as ISIS, the Islamic State, Al-Qaeda, and the Houthis, it added. Some traveled to conflict zones to join terrorist organizations. The ministry did not say how The executions were carried out. The men included 37 Saudi nationals who were found guilty in a single case for attempting to assassinate security officers and targeting police stations and convoys. The kingdom executed 63 people in one day in 1980, a year after militants seized the Grand Mosque in Mecca. A total of 47 people, including prominent Shiite Muslim cleric Nimar al-Nimar, were executed in one day in 2017. Rights groups have accused Saudi Arabia of enforcing restrictive laws on political and religious expression and criticize it for using death penalties, including for defendants arrested when they were minors. Saudi Arabia denies accusations of any human rights abuses and says it protects its national security according to its laws. SPA, Saudi Arabia's state news agency, said the accused were provided with the rights to an attorney and were guaranteed their full rights under Saudi law during the judicial process. So, Saudi Arabia executes 81 men in one day, their biggest max execution in decades. Russia warns U.S. over arms shipment to Ukraine. Moscow, a senior Russian diplomat, is warning that Moscow could target Western shipments of military equipment to Ukraine. Speaking today, Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said that Moscow has warned the U.S. it would see the deliveries of Western weapons to Ukraine as targets. Ryabkov said Russia warned the U.S. that pumping weapons from a number of countries it orchestrates is just a dangerous move. It's an action that makes those convoys legitimate targets. He also denounced the U.S. sanctions against Moscow as an unprecedented attempt to deal a serious blow to various sectors of the Russian economy, but noted that Russia will act in a measured way to avoid hurting itself. Ryabkov said that Moscow has no intention to expel Western media and businesses amid the soaring tensions with the West, adding that we aren't going to escalate the situation. So that doesn't tell us much, but that's what's going on there. That's the news that I thought was, was important, it's the news other than all the other news about Ukraine. Because everywhere I looked, it's all about the war in Ukraine. So I try to find news that isn't about that, except for the last story with Russia. And the oil story I thought was important too, but I'm trying to not talk too much about... I'm trying to find news other than the news about the Ukrainian war in Russia, because that's everywhere. I'm sure you guys know, but I'm trying to find other news that's a little bit different than that, because there is so much coverage of the war, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. The phone lines are now open. If anybody wants to call into the Michael J. Steele Percentage Show, I'd like to hear from you. And it is Saturday. I know a lot of people are probably out and about doing whatever they do, clubbing or going to the movie theaters or going out to dinner with their family. But if you guys want to call in, I think we'll probably do quotes tonight if nobody wants to call in. I like to do the quotes. It's something we do quite a bit on the show here. We call it quotes is because we take brilliant minds and we try to read quotes from brilliant people so we can learn from them, and that's fun. And people call in sometimes. If they get tired of me reading quotes, they'll call in, but we've done other things. We do trivia. We find important people in history, a lot of cool stuff we read. And who do we want to have tonight as our great leader? Quotes from who? We've done a lot of great quotes from a lot of great people. I've done Plato, I've done Aristotle. People get bored from them. They like people that are more modern. You know, I've done Winston Churchill. Einstein's kind of fun. Let's do Albert Einstein. He had a pretty good sense of humor. We can start with him, and if people don't like Einstein, we could always change and switch it up. You know, Einstein's always pretty smart, you know, and Einstein was born March 14th. He was born this month, and born 1879, and he died April 1955. So actually, this is a good time to do Einstein. Actually, his birthday's coming up in 2 days. So we can celebrate Einstein's birthday today a little bit early. And Einstein's occupation, other than, you know, he worked at the U.S. Patent Office for, I think, over 20 years. That's where we went and got him. We recruited him out of the U.S. Patent Office, and that's where he got smart by looking at everybody's patents. He said, they asked him, how'd you get so smart? And he said, well, I studied everybody's patents. I looked at their ideas. I studied them. I brainstormed them, and I just thought, wow, these are cool ideas. And then we recruited him, and our government said, hey, we're going to recruit this guy, and we made him one of our top theoretical physicists. And a lot of his stuff is getting proven correct. But, however, some of his stuff was proven not correct, some of his theories, some of Einstein's theories. So, but anyway, we'll go ahead and read some of the Einstein's great quotes, because I think we can learn from these great minds, you know. And why not read from great minds instead of ignorant minds like Donald Trump? That guy's a moron. We are slowed down sound and light waves. A walking bundle of frequencies tuned into the cosmos. We are souls dressed up in sacred biochemical garments, and our bodies are the instruments through which our souls play their music. Wow, that's far out. Weak people revenge, strong people forgive, intelligent people ignore. The difference between stupidity and genius is that geniuses have their limits. The only thing more dangerous than ignorance is arrogance. Well, there you go, Vladimir Putin. You arrogant son of a bitch. Look what you're doing. Your ego and your arrogance is killing a lot of innocent people, but thank goodness that Britain is standing up, going to take some refugees in, and I will too. I'll offer my bed for someone from Russia or from Ukraine. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything about it. Well, there you go. We got to stop Vlad the Impaler over in Russia and the Ukraine. Russia, you know, I thought Lindsey Graham had a good idea. The Russian people are protesting over there against what he's doing to their kindred spirits in the Ukraine. They don't want him there. I thought Lindsey had a great idea of letting the people take him out, but he's hiding under a cave. He's hiding under something. Him and his whole family are hiding under, like NORAD, under a bunch of rocks over there, a bunch of mountains. So he's hiding. There is no vaccine against stupidity. Don't listen to the person who has the answers. Listen to the person who has the questions. We cannot solve problems ourselves with the same thinking we used when we created them. Everything that exists in your life does so because of two things, something you did or something you didn't do. The more I study science, the more I believe in God. Information is not knowledge. The only source of knowledge is experience. You need experience to gain wisdom. Success comes from curiosity, concentration, perseverance, and self-criticism. The most valuable thing a teacher can impart to children is not knowledge and understanding per se, but a longing for knowledge and understanding and an appreciation for intellectual values, whether they be artistic, scientific, or moral. It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy and creative expression and knowledge. Most teachers waste their time by asking questions that are intended to discover what a pupil does not know, whereas the true art of questioning is to discover what the pupil does know or is capable of knowing. These are quotes by the great theoretical physicist Albert Einstein, whose many of his ideas have been proven correct, and some of them have been proven wrong, but in recent times, many of his ideas have been proven correct. Do you believe in miracles? Well, you should. In fact, life itself is a big miracle. There are so many things that are beyond our understanding. There are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle. You can live as if everything is a miracle. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Three great forces rule the world: stupidity, fear, and greed. Thinking is hard. That's why so few do it. Yeah, it is hard. It gives you headaches. I know that. When I got to think, I start getting headaches. Evil does not exist, sir, or at least it does not exist unto itself. Evil is simply the absence of God. It is just like darkness and cold, a word that man has created to describe the absence of God. God did not create evil. Evil is not like faith or love that exists just as does light and heat. Evil is a result of what happens when man does not have God's love present in his heart. It's like the cold that comes when there is no heat, or the darkness that comes when there is no light. Be a voice, not an echo. Don't let your brain interfere with your heart. Logic can take you from point A to point B. Imagination can take you wherever you want. I once thought that if I could ask God one question, I would ask how the universe began, because once I knew that, all the rest is simple equations. But as I got older, I became less concerned with how the universe began. Rather, I would want to know why he started the universe, for once I knew that answer, then I would know the purpose of my life. If you want different results, do not do the same things. These are quotes by the greatest theoretical physicist of our lifetime, Albert Einstein. Women always worry about things that men forget. Men always worry about things women remember. This is the Michael J. Steele for Senate show. If you like the program, if you like the show, if you want to help me win this election so that I can become your next United States Senator of North Dakota, you go to www.michaeljsteeleforsenate.com. You can donate up to $5,600. Or you can go to Act Blue. You can type in my name, Michael Steele. I'm the guy running for Senate in the United States Senate for North Dakota. And you can donate up to $5,600 there. But all donations are greatly appreciated. I do appreciate everything you send. It goes a long way to keep the campaign going. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Experience is knowledge, all the rest is information. The world we have created is a product of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. If we want to change the world, we have to change our thinking. No problem can be solved from the same consciousness that created it. We must learn to see the world anew. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Imagination is the language of the soul. Pay attention to your imagination and you will discover all you need to be fulfilled. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or objects. You can't use an old map to explore a new world. Mankind invented the atomic bomb, but no mouse would ever construct a mouse trap. The height of stupidity is most clearly demonstrated by the individual who ridicules something he knows nothing about. A person who never made a mistake, never tried anything new. Learning is the beginning of wealth. Searching and learning is where the miracle process all begins. The great breakthrough in your life comes when you realize that you can learn anything you need to learn to accomplish any goal that you set for yourself. This means there are no limits on what you can be, have, or do. Everyone knew it was impossible until a fool who didn't know came along and did it. We cannot get to where we dream of being tomorrow unless we change our thinking today. These are quotes I'm doing of the great theoretical physicist Albert Einstein. The call lines are open if anybody wants to call in. We'd like to hear from you. This is Senate candidate for North Dakota, Michael-Steele. You can talk to me. We'd like to hear from you. Blind belief in authority is the greatest enemy of truth. Remember that. Failure is success and progress. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. A clever person solves a problem. A wise person avoids it. Genius is making complex ideas simple, not making simple ideas complex. Don't wait for miracles. Your whole life is a miracle. If one day you have to choose between the world and love, remember this: if you choose the world, you'll be left without love, but if you choose love, with it, you will conquer the world. Once you stop learning, you start dying. Live life to the fullest. You have to color outside the lines once in a while if you want to make your life a masterpiece. Laugh some every day. Keep growing, keep dreaming, keep following your heart. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Any fool can know. The point is to understand. Genius is 1% talent and 99% hard work. This is the Michael J. Steele for Senate show. The phone lines are open if you'd like to call in tonight. I'd like to hear from you. We haven't had anybody call in for the last couple nights. I don't know what's going on, but Shannon calls in when she's on the show. Maybe Shannon's doing her show tonight. I'm not sure what's going on with Shannon. Be a loner. That gives you time to wander, to search for the truth. Have holy curiosity. Make your life worth living. Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Just because you believe in something does not mean that it is true. Intelligence is not the ability to store information, but to know where to find it. I'm more interested in the future than in the past because the future is where I intend to live. I live in the now. That's where I live, Michael-Steele. I learned from Einstein. I live in the now. There comes a point in your life when you need to stop reading other people's books and write your own. Well, you got to live life to write about life. People ask me, well, when are you going to write another book or publish another book? I said, well, I got to live life to write about life. I've written a book and published 5 books, but I got to live life to write about it, or I got to find a really interesting author if I want to publish another book or work with another author. And when that time comes, maybe we'll do that. When the solution is simple, God is answering. Creativity is seeing what others see and thinking what no one else has ever thought. Knowledge and ego are directly related. The less knowledge, the greater the ego. Never do anything against conscience, even if the state demands it. God did not create evil, just as darkness is the absence of light. Evil is the absence of God. So right now, Vladimir Putin is a godless son of a gun, son of a bitch. Only two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the former. You never fail until you stop trying. Knowledge is realizing that the street is one way. Wisdom is looking in both directions anyway. I don't need to know everything. I just need to know where to find it when I need it. Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be a value. Success equals 1 part work plus 1 part play plus 1 part keep your mouth shut. The true sign of intelligence is not knowing, but imagination. Human being is part of the whole called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts and feelings as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this person by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Condemnation before investigation is the highest form of ignorance. Men marry women with the hope they will never change. Women marry men with the hope that they will change. Invariably, they are both very disappointed. Yes. Albert Einstein had one hell of a good sense of humor. Him and Mark Twain should have got together and wrote a book. It would have been one hilarious book, I think. The mind that opens to a new idea never returns to its original size. Great spirits have always encountered opposition from mediocre minds. The mediocre mind is incapable of understanding the man who refuses to bow blindly to conventional prejudices and chooses instead to express his opinions courageously and honestly. Right now we are reading quotes by a great theoretical physicist, Albert Einstein, who is a genius, got many of his theories correct. Some of them are actually being proven correct today. Some of them were proven wrong many years ago. I must be willing to give up what I am in order to become what I will be. A ship is always safe at the shore, but that is not what it is built for. Wow, that's pretty good. I like that. I want to read that again. A ship is always safe at the shore, but that is not what it was built for. Wow. Now that's some deep, deep stuff, man. 3 rules of work. Out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Nothing happens unless something moves. True, the military will tell you that. Make everything as simple as possible, but not simpler. Hitler appeared, a man with limited intellectual abilities and unfit for any useful work, bursting with envy and bitterness against all whom circumstances and nature had favored over him. In his desperate ambition for power, he discovered that his speeches, confused and pervaded with hate as they were, received wild acclaim by those whose situation and orientation resembled his own. He picked up this human flotsam on the streets and in the taverns and organized them around himself. This is the way he launched his political career. Well, misery loves company, and I guess a bunch of miserable sacks of shit followed Hitler, and those that are following Vladimir Putin right now like Donald Trump and all the Republicans that are following Vladimir Putin, are a bunch of miserable sacks of shit, just like the miserable sacks of shit that followed Hitler that led to 6 million deaths. So there you go. Yeah, they are great quotes. Thank you, Pat Riot. I love Einstein, man. He had a sense of humor, and he was very, very smart, unbelievably smart, and genius. You do not really understand something unless you can explain it to your grandmother. I said before, excuse me, once in a while I cough because I talk a lot. I don't know. I said before, the most beautiful and most profound religious emotion that we can experience is the sensation of the mystical, and this mystical is the power of all true science. There is any such concept as a God. It is a subtle spirit, not an image of a man, that so many have fixed in their minds. In essence, my religion consists of a humble admiration for this illimitable superior spirit that reveals itself in the slight details that we are all able to perceive with our frail and feeble minds. A large part of our attitude towards things is conditioned by opinions and emotions which we unconsciously absorb as children from our environment. In other words, it is tradition, besides inherited aptitudes and qualities, which makes us what we are. We but rarely reflect how relatively small, as compared with the powerful influences of tradition, is the influence of our conscious thought upon our conduct and our convictions. Peace cannot be kept by force, can only be achieved by understanding. The woman who follows the crowd will usually go no further than the crowd. The woman who walks alone is likely to find herself in places no one has ever been before. What is your all-time favorite quote? Oh, man, geez, I don't know. Let me think about that one, Pat, okay? I'll think about it. You know, there's so many great quotes in the world. I don't know if I have just one. I'll think about it. Pat wrote on the board here, he asked what my all-time favorite quote is. I'll think about it. I have a few. I'll think about it. You know, I like a psalm, probably Psalm 23 was probably one of my favorites for a long time. You know, it's a psalm, Psalm 23. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of evil, I shall fear no evil. You know, I would say probably that Psalm 23 would probably be one of my favorite quotes. And that's a quote of King David, who wrote the Psalms, I believe. So that would be a quote by King David, wrote that. So I would say Psalm 23. You know, I've quoted that many times through battling cancer. I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, and I was walking through the valley of the shadow of evil a few times in my life. So I think I prayed that one, I don't know, many times. But there's other ones that I like too. So that's probably not even the one right now in my life, but that was one in the past that comes to mind. But I don't know. I'll have to think about it. You know, some of these right now that we read from Einstein, I think would probably be pretty good ones that I think I would use too. So, you know, yeah. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift. Creativity is intelligence, having fun. The press, which is mostly controlled by vested interests, has an excessive influence on public opinion. Yeah, that's true. They have a hell of an excessive influence on public opinion. They can make or break careers, and they do it all the time. They could win and influence elections. They do that too. The true definition of madness is repeating the same action over and over, hoping for a different result. That's one of Einstein's probably most repeated quotes I've heard over and over again, but he's got so many more, which I'm reading tonight, that I think are just as brilliant as that one, you know. But that's the one people tend to quote over and over again. There is a driving force more powerful than steam, electricity, and nuclear power. The will, he says, is more powerful than all those. School failed me, and I failed the school. It bored me. The teachers behaved like sergeants. I wanted to learn what I wanted to know, but they wanted me to learn for the exam. What I hated most was the competitive system there, and especially sports. Because of this, I wasn't worth anything, and several times they suggested I leave. Yeah. When you sit with a nice girl for 2 hours, it seems like 2 minutes. When you sit on a hot stove for 2 minutes, it seems like 2 hours. That's relativity. Well, hey, how you doing, Marcos? My good friend Marcos-Paulo-Candeloro's here tonight. Yeah, I read your email, Marcos. Right before I started the show, I haven't had a chance to write you back, but I will soon. I've had a lot going on, running for United States Senate and that, so I'll try to write you back. At least one day, allow yourself the freedom to think and dream for yourself. Right now we're reading quotes by that famous theoretical physicist Albert Einstein, and it's just good to read something written by some geniuses. So live with purpose. Don't let people or things around you get you down. If you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. If the bee disappeared off the surface of the globe, then man would have only 4 years of life left. No more bees, no more pollination, no more plants, no more animals, no more man. Yeah, and that's something we've been worrying about because the bees did disappear quite a many times here recently, and then people found them again hiding somewhere else. However, people are saying that our cell phones are harming the bees' frequencies, and 5G and everything that's going on right now are messing up the bees. So that's a bad problem right now with the bees, is everything going on with their cell phones, cell towers. The bees are getting mixed signals. Sometimes they're losing their direction. So we are actually killing ourselves. Yeah, they're killing the bees. And once the bees die, we die, so we got to be very careful. But some spots that don't have cell towers, the bees are thriving, we're finding out. So Marcos has a friend who produces honey here. Well, that's good. And you probably don't have cell towers there, or a lot of electricity there, a lot of radio or cell towers. See, that's what's harming the bees, is frequencies. So, I mean, the bees are probably going where there's nothing harming them. That's where they're hiding. He told about his problems. Okay. Yeah, that's something. When the bees go, according to Einstein, where do we go? Because they pollinate, everything. So we die if they die, because, our cows need greens. They need flowers. They need everything that the bees pollinate. So Einstein has one heck of a point, So how many people are trapped in their everyday habits, part numb, part frightened, part indifferent? To have a better life, we must keep choosing how we are living. Try not to become a man of success, but a man of value. Look around at how people want to get more out of life than they put in. A man of value will give more than he receives. Be creative, but make sure that what you create is not a curse for mankind. Yeah, and that's where a lot of people are saying, hey, these 5G towers, they're hurting our airplanes right now, and some towers are not going to be put right around airports and all that, because they are messing up with the radar of our airplane towers and all that, and so they're going to have to not turn them on. They're afraid to turn them on around the aircraft airports. So that's something that they're worried about, and people that are actually working on the 5G are claiming they've got seriously injured. These are some they could fry you like a microwave, I'm hearing, and they've had people go on radio shows talking about the dangers of 5G, how serious this stuff is. So, well, Pat Riot, it was really weird. I had some shows that I was editing today, Pat, and I hit a button and some of them just totally disappeared. So I might have accidentally got some of my shows might have came off Spotify today by accident. I didn't mean to do it. I might have done that accidentally, but I'm at many other places. Yeah, I didn't mean to take it off Spotify, but I might have accidentally deleted some off there, which sucked, I didn't do it. I didn't really do it. I think the company that I went through, I was deleting some older shows to get some new shows put in there, and they did it. So I got to call them up and say, hey, bring my shows back, because I didn't delete the new ones. I deleted the old ones. They deleted 133 of my episodes, and it's like, what the hell are you guys doing? They screwed me up. I had to try to get some new ones back, so I don't know what the shit they did to me. I just was at the bottom deleting some old shows on the bottom of the list to make room for new shows, and somehow, they deleted a bunch of my shows. But I'm still out there, Pat. You can find me on Speaker, iHeartRadio. You know, these shows are mass syndicated on multiple other applications and apps, so you'll be able to find me if you look, Pat. I'm everywhere, so I'm trying to get those back, but it was weird. I went down to delete like 10 shows, and I deleted those 10. Next thing I know, I look, 130 episodes were gone, so I'm kind of pissed off. What happened? They deleted 110 of my episodes, so I don't know. It's kind of weird, but you'll be able to find me. If anybody wants to call in, we got about 40 minutes left on the program here for the call lines. But if not, I'll keep going to quotes and talking to people on the board, I guess. Great thought begins by seeing something differently with a shift of the mind's eye. That's according to our great theoretical physicist, Albert Einstein. Hey, Marcos, how you doing? Hi, Marcos.
Hey, Michael. I am good. I'm in my folks' house, and I'm good. And you? How are your campaign?
Well, I'm almost got all the signatures I need now. Now I'm just getting the overage I need. I got all the signatures, but I'm getting more than I need because they vet them and they throw some out. So I'm getting the overage now. I got till the end of the month to get overage signatures now because they're going to vet them. You know, the Secretary of State vets them, and they throw out the ones they can't read or the ones that they don't think they can read them or whatever. So I'm going to get a bunch more now. Now I'm getting the overage, the overcount ones. So that's going good.
Which criteria they adopt?
Pardon? What was that?
Which kind of criteria does the party choose to decide?
Well, these go to the Secretary of State, the ballots, and that just gets me on the ballot. That's all this is. They're not supposed to decide anything. They just got to get me on the ballot for the election for United States Senate. That's what this is for. For the primary, we're doing the primary June 14th, and then November 8th is our midterm election where you vote for all the Senate, 1/3 of the Senate. Then every 2 years you got a certain percentage of the House of Representatives, 1/3 of the House. Then you got your state and local.
Crucial this election.
Yeah, that's in the United States, That's how they do it here. So, it's midterm right now. And that's when I'm going to be on. I'm just getting the...
Pat is asking you a good question. If you are running as an independent candidate.
Well, I've been running as a moderate Democrat, but it looks like the Democrats right now are going for this lady that got in the race February 14th. And I've been running for 4 years and a member of this Democratic Nonpartisan League for 25 years. I worked for Byron Dorgan, Kit Conrad, Earl Pomeroy, and then this lady come out of Nebraska. Nobody knows who she is on February 14th as a spoiler. And I went to some of the conventions. They never mentioned my name at some of the local conventions. They got her on the flyers, her name, and a couple of big shots in the party are promoting her, throwing some money behind her. But nobody in the party knows this lady. They've never heard of her. They don't, I said, she's not a member of the party. They recognize me, know me, and she's a spoiler, and which is really weird. And then they got another guy now, this Andrew Alexis Velver, who's a historian that just jumped in 4 days ago as a Democrat. But I, being endorsed, I'm going as a national Democrat, like a Democrat, not a nonpartisan league Democrat. I'm going with the national Democrats, and I'm going with the Small Business Party endorsed me. So that's who I'm going with, the Small Business Party. I have their endorsement, and I'm going with the National Democratic Party, not the North Dakota Democratic NPL anymore, because they're throwing me under the bus for reasons unknown to me. So that's how I'm running, So that's what I'm doing, Pat Riot. Hi, Solid Blue Sister. Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. How you doing? We got Marcos on here from Brazil, our friend. I hope everything's going good, Marcos.
Just saying hi. It's okay. It's okay. We are dealing with it.
Okay.
With the Brazilian problems.
Good.
Sooner I was in a KKK podcast here. I was trying to make reason to a freaking guy just because I'm Brazilian. He used an N-word to refer to me.
Oh, wow. That's not good. That's not respectful. Wow. That's terrible. That's bad. So you're still doing your podcast there. I see.
Hey, Pat, he looks like Donald Trump figure, but more a military person than Trump. Trump is more mediatic.
Well, tell him about your last leader, how corrupt he is. He's in prison right now, you said, Marcos, right? Very corrupt. The last leader. So this guy's a lot better than
He was in prison.
Yeah, for corruption.
He is now running.
But he's a lot worse than this president you have now, correct? The last guy is way, way more corrupt, right?
Yeah. The worst scandal of corruption in Brazil was in his government. He stole from the taxpayers almost. I can't say in dollars, but in reais, that's our coin. Yeah, it's 5 billion.
Wow. 5 billion in your currency. That's awful. Did he keep a lot of that money when he got out of prison? Did he have it stashed away? Well, he must have, because he's running again. He must have stashed a lot of money, because I know to run as president in the United States right now, you got to raise about $100 million to run in the United States right now, the U.S., $80 to $100 million. To run for president.
But in Brazil, we have a public funding of campaigns, so he simply he didn't catch the money from the private sector. He stole from our national company of oil and gas.
Wow! And then he just stole it and pocketed it. Pat Riot said there's so much money in politics, it's gross. I'm sure you're experiencing it with all the money you are raising. It's sad. I'm not raising much, Pat. I haven't taken any money from PACs. I haven't taken any money from special interest. I was offered money from the Saudis. I didn't take it because I can't take any money from foreign governments, so I didn't take it. I told them, no, I can't take it, so I haven't taken it. The money that I've raised so far is my own money, and then just small dollar amounts from small donations from everyday people, just like me. I'm a small business owner. You could look at my FEC report, and you could look at me and look at John-Hoeven, the incumbent. He's got $4 million right now, and his money's coming in from big oil, big coal, natural energy companies, electric companies. All his money's coming in from special interests. He hasn't gotten one penny from a human being, from an individual. Nothing, not even a dollar, not a penny from a person, nobody. And I was at West Acres. I had a professor from my old college come up and hand me a $10 bill, been listening to the program, liked what I'm saying, and he signed my petition, and he gave me a $10 donation. I was so happy. Professor at my old college here he lives in North Dakota now. He's, he always lived in North Dakota, but he taught at my college political science, and he handed me $10, and I wrote it down in my book. He's going on my FEC report here that I'm going to be doing at the end of the month. My quarterly reports are due, and that was nice. I got a $10. The biggest donations I've gotten two $500 donations in 4 years, and they've been recent. One was September 26th, and one was 2 weeks ago, and that's my biggest. John-Hoeven, he gets $250,000 donations, $100,000, $500,000, $10,000. Me, I get a $500 donation, Pat, and it's like getting $1 million after running for 4 years. I feel pretty good getting that $500 donation, so that makes me pretty happy, So, no, I know there's money that I could have got probably millions from the Saudis, but I'd have been in federal prison right now. So I'd have been in, it's coming out of my pocket. It's coming out of the donors that have been giving me money. Back to you, Marcos.
Pat is saying it sounds expensive to run. Yeah, it's very expensive, and most of all, when you have public financing of campaigns, you have the taxpayer paying for the candidates that make their commercial. That's free. Their flyers, their radio shows, so it gets a deeper hole when you bring it to public sphere.
Oh yeah, Brazil, it's probably very expensive, and then running for president, I don't know how they do it. 80 million, 100 million, 150 million. Just unbelievable amounts of money.
Taking a 5-to-1 in coin, I can say it's 8. I don't even know how the money. How to say the 8000008.
Yeah, what is that? That's it's 800,000 there or something like that.
800 million.
Wow, where was that at in Brazil? 800 million in Brazil. Wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money. Wow.
And come from the taxpayers.
Wow. Yeah, it's getting rough. I'm hemorrhaging money right now, Pat. I've been at this for 4 years, and this last few months a lot more expensive, but that's the way we planned it. You got to spend more money now, getting towards the last few phases of the campaign, but it's going all right. I think I'm gonna get through it, but it's been harder and harder. We're hemorrhaging money. A lot more people want to get involved, and I got a lot of staffers I'd love to have, but I want to pay them, and it's hard to get top-notch people that they're not going to work for nothing, But I've lost out on some. I got some staffers in D.C. that are getting, they're doing it on their own. I've paid them some money, but they're helping out on their own too, so thank goodness they like what I'm about and they're volunteering, and we got to keep campaign offices open. We got to pay the rent, and radio, television, everything, flyers, this stuff is expensive, gas is hurting me now, but we're going to get through it. We've gotten this far. We're not going to give up, and that's why donations are critical right now. If anybody's listening in, if you can donate anything, $5, $20, go to www.michael-steele-for-senate.com or go to Act Blue and just type in my name, Michael Steele. I'm the guy from North Dakota, and it all helps, whatever you can donate, And I do have another fundraising wing, the Small Business Party, who's endorsed me in D.C. They're trying to raise some money for me too, but I haven't heard any reports back from them, and they got to raise money for their organization too, but they've actually started trying to raise funds for me too, because they know I'm hemorrhaging money. Everything towards the end here, this last 8 months is getting expensive, and we're really pushing the envelope. And I've done 16 interviews on television and radio and newspapers, and which is good. So we're doing our darndest to really get going here and stay focused. So, but it is, like you say, Pat, it is expensive, but we're going to do it. We're getting through it. And as long as we stay hard at it and burn the midnight oil, we're going to do just fine. Things are going good, and we're trying to keep it going.
You conquered the endorsement of Brazilian right wing. So if you convinced me, you can convince any North Dakota habitant.
Well, thank you, Marcos. That's awesome. Yeah, Marcos has been listening and talking and visiting with me for quite a while, and he's endorsed me. So Marcos is a political science professor. He's been fighting corruption in Brazil there for a long time, had a couple of death threats attacked. He actually got he had someone rob him. It was really weird. I told him, be careful you don't get robbed. And the next day he got robbed at gunpoint. After I warned him on this show, I was concerned about Marcos's safety. And the next day, actually, he got robbed at gunpoint. And right now he's kind of in an undisclosed location hiding out, I think. So, man, it's Marcos has done some investigative journalism and that. And thank you, Marcos, for listening. And he's endorsed me, so I really appreciate that. And he invited me to the biggest agricultural show in the world in Brazil. I'd love to go there, but I got business here and I got to stay here with the campaign, or I'd be getting on a plane and going over to Brazil. But I'd have to go there with a delegation because he's got death threats on him right now, and I would want to go prepared with and I don't know if I want to fly over there with, I'd have to have guns and everything, Marcos. I don't know, unless you'd have guns.
Worry about this show, you don't have to worry. The Brazilian president opens the show. So the most important politicals in Brazil probably gonna be 1 or 2 days in this show. This exposed this. I can't even describe it.
Yeah, that'd be nice to go there. Maybe if I win the election, I'll come over there with the delegation, and then we can talk crops, North Dakota. We could wheel and deal. That's what a senator does. We make deals for trade, make trade deals, and we can't just put all our eggs in one basket in China. We gotta make deals with Brazil. India is a big trading partner. They got a lot of people. Brazil. There's so many countries right now. We should go into Venezuela and make a deal with them because they got more oil in Venezuela than anywhere on the planet right now. Right in our own hemisphere, right on our own continent. Iraq. Barack Obama had a deal in Iraq. 30 years, we would have had cheap oil, barrels of oil. And then Trump, the first thing he eliminated first week in office was kill the Iraqi oil deal in Iraq. They were ready to sign a 30-year deal, and then when he went out, Trump killed the deal. Where right now we'd be paying about $1.50 gallon, Barack said, for the next 30 years. Trump killed the deal. Well, you know where Trump's interests are. For the big money. For 4 years, he gave the biggest tax breaks to the richest people in the world, all his billionaire friends. You know, I'm for the people. If we can get cheap oil for the people, let's do it. You know, cheap oil. I'm here for the poor people. Hi, Shannon. Shannon's here.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hello.
I'm sorry,
Hey,
I
Shannon.
did fall asleep the other night. I get up so early. I get up at like 3:30 in the morning, so it's like,
Oh, no problem.
I'm sorry.
No problem.
Go ahead.
I missed you.
I'm watching the chat.
I
So.
missed you. Marcos
I know,
is
I
here.
missed you too.
Marcos is in an undisclosed location hiding out right now from these people that are trying to get him. So he's okay though right now. He's hiding
Marcos.
out.
I'm so sorry. So you've had more threats?
They stole my number. I was offline all these days because my cell phone number got stolen.
How can they steal a phone number?
That's my doubt too. I've been asking the cell phone operator until now, and they can't even explain
So what's
what
happening? You just can't call anybody, or
I lost my number. I had to open a new account.
oh, with Podbean?
No, Podbean, thank God, I could save all my social networks were in the cloud, so it's not been damaged so much. But
So they say your phone number was registered to somebody else, or it just didn't exist? I don't understand how they could steal your phone number.
They simply take my WhatsApp and starting to ask money from my contacts and talk a lot of curse words.
Yeah. These hackers, that almost sounds very similar to me. Yeah, they can get into all your contacts, all your apps, everything. Wow. They're like as good as Anonymous. You remember who Anonymous was?
Yeah.
When he wears the Guy Fawkes mask?
I know it's from my city because all the calls that made the F name was from my city, so it's probably a proximal guy, a neighbor maybe.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I mean, if you can hang on, Marcos, I'm going I finally got an attorney. And if I go into a settlement like right away, because I mean, I have 100% proof, if I have enough money, I will bring you and your family over here myself.
Too gentle for you, from your part. Thank you, Shanna.
I mean, I will try what I can, but I can't guarantee anything. But I'm just saying, if things work out for me in the next couple months and you're still there, I mean, I'm going to do what I can to get you to safety.
I appreciate so much your efforts, Shanna. Thank you.
I mean, I can't do anything right at this moment, but I mean, if it all works the way I want it to work, and it's looking like it is, and I'm going to go immediately into a settlement, and because if they don't, these people are going to jail for life, and I think they want to pay. So paying is better than going to jail.
They must.
And I will. That will be my it would be my pleasure to help you and your family out. You need to get out of there. It's too dangerous. You're part of the Podbean family now.
Suddenly, I'm not dangerous, but I can't do it.
Yeah, but you still would. You would have a better life over here, honey. You want to come over here. I can tell. Maybe we'll go move up near
The
Michael.
American way of life is a dream for all the Brazilians and all the Latin America. I can assure you.
Yeah. I think Michael would like that. Huh, Michael?
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, Marcos knows a lot about politics and everything. Yeah, he could run a show out of Fargo, and we could start a whole network here. It'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. We had to make 98 6-point degrees, so the hair gets really cold there.
Yeah, it gets cold. That's the thing. Everybody's got to get used to cold, you know.
Yeah.
We've had 3 months of unbelievable cold Arctic weather here. It's miserable here for 3 months in a row. Usually, well, guess what? Wednesday it's going up to 40, so that's going to be a heat wave. So we're starting to maybe turn the tide here and get we're going to get up to 40, so it's going to be like summertime here finally Wednesday. So hopefully it stays and it doesn't drop back down. So, but somebody's saying they're talking we might get an Alberta Clipper in April. They're talking. It's like, no, I don't want no more of this. This has been miserable. The heating bills up here are breaking. People are going bankrupt for the $600, $800 heating bills. It's just miserable right now. But you know, hopefully we can. Yeah.
The heat here is natural, so we pay the electric bills from air conditioning and ventilators.
Right. Well, that's like having an AC going all year here, you know. With we have the electric bills going because we got to heat all winter, and then all summer we don't really have our ACs going too often here because we have maybe a week or two it might hit 90, maybe 100, and that's it. We don't have too many 100-degree days here. Not too many days where it hits 90, but we got a lot of 75, 80-degree days, and it doesn't get very hot here if you like it 75, 80. You know, that's about where we're at here in North Dakota.
I have to make the conversion to the metrical system.
Sure, yeah. But
We
I like
use
the cold.
Celsius, not Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit. Yeah. I like the cold. I'm used to it. The heat gets me now. It's weird. I hated the heat when I was a kid. The cold. I hated the cold. I wanted the heat in the summer, and now I can't stand the heat. It gets me. Now I love the cold. It's really weird. I don't know. I guess as you get older, you change. Hi, how you doing? Somebody said, hey, Michael. Hi, how you doing? I don't know who you are, but it's WDBH, HHW. You've been on the show before. How's it going? Welcome to the podcast here. Thank you. Oh, hey, Eric. How you doing?
Oh, it's Eric Green.
Hi, Eric.
Hey,
Yeah,
Eric.
welcome to the show. Right on.
Yeah, it actually got down to
Hey,
29 here. We're freezing tonight. I
Wow.
cover the plants.
In Louisiana? Oh,
New
my.
Orleans. Uh-huh.
Whoa. So
Yep.
that is something. It's getting cold everywhere. Louisiana,
It's
29.
that last freeze, that last cold front.
Man
He
alive.
calls me Sha-na-na.
Sha-na-na-na. Hey, hey, hey. That was Bowser.
It's getting cold everywhere.
You, but
But
Bowser,
Brazil.
it's right from Sha-na-na. Boop, boop, boo-doo, Sha-na-na.
Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Boom, boom.
Na-na-na-na-na, boom, boom.
Cold over in Brazil too, Marcos?
No, always hot here.
Wow.
Even the winter, we mark the day that winter came to the Brazil. It's a 1 day of cold, 1 week, and I'm being exaggerated. So it's minimal cold in the most of the parts of Brazil. We have the extreme south that suffers with a little bit ice the ice that forms from the cold, but not even make a snow.
Mm. Wow. So it's just warm there, pretty much nice kind of tropical weather there then, or not really tropical. I don't know what you'd say. What would you call it?
It's tropical.
Weather? Okay,
It's
tropical.
tropical.
Wow. That'd be nice. I guess a certain kind of heat isn't bad. You know, you got wet heat, you got an arid heat, a dry heat. Certain kind of heats are nice, I wouldn't mind.
My city has a wet heat. Now I have two ventilators pointed to me.
Okay, to dry up the water then, to dry it up. You're trying to dry up the water, the moisture?
Yeah, but it's not a dry heat. It's a very wet heat. So we are sweating all the time.
Well, it keeps your pores good, I guess. You got good pores. Cleans out the pores, I guess, if you get used to it, So that's probably good for you. Clean the pores out. We very rarely.
Certain point of view.
Yeah.
It's not good for people who like to eat, like me.
Oh, sure. Yeah, humidity could be hard on those that have breathing problems too, like asthma and that. COPD, asthma. Humidity's harder on asthmatics. Yeah, for sure. So Shannon's going to bring you over here. That's nice. Thank you, Shannon.
Maybe that's if I get the money. But if I do, that's a very worthy cause. So.
Well, I offered my bed to some Ukrainian refugee like Great Britain. Now they're going to get $456 US a month to share a bed in England. They're going to bring refugees to England now. Boris Johnson said that they're going to bring over refugees from the Ukraine, 4 million of them to England. And if you offer your bed, you get $456 per person. And I say, I'll do that in Fargo. I will give my bed, because I sleep in a recliner in a one-bedroom apartment I have downtown Fargo. I'll give my bed up, and I'll let a Ukrainian stay here, a refugee, for 6 months for free. They don't even have to pay me, just to help them get on their feet. So I'm offering my bed right now to a Ukrainian refugee to help them in Fargo. If North Dakota is going to be taken
that
in.
shows why you have our endorsement, Michael.
Yeah.
You're a good guy.
Yeah.
You are over the political differences. In the end of the day, you are a good guy.
Right, and I offer it. I don't need no money to help somebody out for 6 months. That's we can get it in 6 months. You can help somebody get a job, get a career, get them on housing, medical, everything. So, we can get them going in 6 months. So, I will offer my bed to help somebody, and I think that's pretty commendable. That's pretty commendable to England, but people been complaining there they haven't been helping refugees, but I know they've been helping for years over in England. Canada wants people there, and they've been having a hard time getting them in Canada. They got a lot of land there in Canada. They only have 47 million people in Canada, and they need people there, and they want people. It's just so hard to get people there, and it gets colder in Canada than North Dakota. Certain areas, certain parts of Canada. Certain parts of Canada are really beautiful and pretty warm, but that's Canada wants people too. So if you can get into Canada, that's a great place.
They want couples and about 23 to 27 years old. Not in this rate anymore. I'm a divorced guy. So 30 years old. I already did my research, and just Montreal wants me, but I have to learn French.
Oh, okay. Learn French. I think you can do that. You speak English rather well. You're getting better at your English. You can do it. French, I think I can understand French, but I can't speak it, but I can understand it, but they can speak
It's
English.
still a Latin-based language.
Is it?
It's a Latin-based language.
Oh, okay.
He should be able to pick it up really well. Yeah.
And they can speak English too, so a lot of the
Starting for the zero, but it's not a impossible language like the
Marseille beaucoup. Yeah.
We know all the bad stuff like Vuluvukushev McWasaswa.
Oh, yeah. That's in that song. I heard it in that
Yeah.
song. I know that song.
Everybody knows that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Man, me and you we grew up in the same era, I think, me and Shannon. We know all the
I think we're the same age.
Right. We like that
So.
good music, me and Shannon. Right on. Right on. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Man, I ain't heard that in
I'm not a kid,
I haven't heard that song in a long
but I
time.
look much younger, so.
Nice. Nice. Wow. Well, I don't even know what you look like, so I'm guessing. Just a mystery.
Oh, I promise I wouldn't mislead you.
Okay. Well, I like that.
I'm not an ugly duckling.
Okay. I like that song, though. That's disco.
The Matrix, it's dragging me out. So I'm gonna end the call.
Okay. Good to hear you're
Sorry,
okay,
guys.
Marcos, and you're safe. I know you're in an undisclosed location, which is good, and you're safe. So you take care of yourself. Keep in touch, okay? Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, Marcos. Talk to you later,
Thank you
Marcos.
for having me. See you guys.
Bye, honey.
All right. Be safe. Yeah, we're going to be going off the air here in about 4 more minutes. Shannon, anything you'd like to leave us with on the show here?
You didn't send me that stuff.
Yeah, I've been missing doctor's appointments. I've been missing clients. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been missing.
Okay.
I've been missing everything. I've been so busy. Well, I'm so forgetful lately. I don't know what's going on. I'm inundated with stuff to do. I'll try to send it to you. I got to try to get I got to get this on my laptop where I got everything. I got to try to. You know what
I just want to know what you like and, you know, and,
yeah.
You know, what your vision is, because if you don't like it, I'll go back to the drawing board.
Well, you could go to my www.michael-steele-for-senate.com and you could get it all right.
It's got all that on there?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
Just let you go there, because what you're going to get is what's on my websites and all that. It's all out.
It says michael-steele-for-senate-race.com.
No, www.michael-steele-for-senate.com.
Okay, so no 2022.
No, it's just www.michael-steele-for-senate.com. You could go to that, or just Google me and you can find all kinds of stuff. There's www.michael-steele-for-senate.com 2022. I'm out there. Just the Michael J. Steele or Michael-Steele-North-Dakota. I mean, you could Google me, Michael J. Steele, Michael-Steele.
I tried to do the antiques thing one, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, I'm out there. It's harder to find me, but you got to Google me. I'm there. You know, I'm out there. It's people find me.
I was using Safari.
Oh, maybe, yeah, I don't know what Safari. They're still around, huh? Wow, are they still, are they updating that anymore or not? I don't even know if do they still update Safari? I haven't used that forever. Do they update?
I don't know. I got a new operating system in my Mac, so for graphic design. So
I haven't used Safari forever. I forgot about that. Wow, it might get up. I go with stuff if it gets updated, so that's cool, you know. Some of these.
Well, I tried to stay away from Google for a while because, you know, they listen to everything too, so I just kind of.
Right. Yeah, and they got such a monopoly on everything too, Google, and yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Which is weird, you know, and they went after Microsoft, I don't know, for having a monopoly, and then they wind up turning around and selling the government everything, you know. There's such sales.
Oh, yeah.
They turn around and sold the government everything, you know.
Google and Facebook was the government's wet dream.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, now Facebook, the government went after them, though, and fined them like $250 billion. And now the European Union and 14 states are going after them for controlling commerce and all this stuff. And they should, because, you know, my Facebook with 5,000 people got hacked and I can't access it. It says there's a virus on it. It locked me out. And I've talked to like 20 of my friends. Same thing happened to them, too, now. They can't get on their Facebook site. They go to their page and they're locked out because there's viruses on them. And Facebook or you can't get to them now. They're locked out. So that's the new one now.
That could be a hacker too. Some of these hackers are able to get into the actual app and they can bring up all the messages that come up, say, oh, we'll say your computer's full or it's been hacked. There's all that in the code.
Yeah.
And they can actually do that and make you think that it's a virus when it's really just a hacker trying to keep you from your page and communicating with other people.
Okay.
So that could be it too.
Okay, well,
could be your opponent.
I'm going down. We're going offline, so good night. Good night.
Are you coming?